our fan base's favorites. And our fan base's favorites are Devin Neal and DJ Giddens. Those are our fan base's favorites, for obvious reasons. You got Kansas State, or K-State, as our friends from Manhattan say. DJ Giddens, this guy, solid man, 6 foot 212, ran a 4.43. Ran a 4.43. Some of these websites, they're off here because this one says his measurable he ran a 4.33. I believe he ran a 4.43 at the combine.
He ran 4.33.
Yeah, 6 foot 212, ran a 4.3, not nuts, but 4.3. So yeah, some positives about him. Smooth runner, graceful adjustments on his running path to keep his feet clean. Showcases great wiggle, natural running instincts in the open field to create false steps and break down tacklers. Interesting thing about him, you could say sometimes when guys get late starts in football, they kind of don't develop bad habits. Giddens started playing football as like a sophomore or junior in high school. So like not a lot of bad habits there. A late bloomer. So there's a lot of growth. And a lot of experts are saying that teams like his potential because he hasn't reached it yet since he's only been playing football for like 3 or 4 years. So that's a big thing with him that he hasn't been playing football long enough. So he could be a guy going forward to be better than what he is. And right now they're saying we're rounds 3 to 6, or rounds 3 to 4 for him. Yeah. So that's kind of like if you get a guy like him in the third round, that's a steal. So those are his positives. Let's talk about his negatives a little bit.
It's got a big negative.
Yeah, there's quite a few here for him. And the big thing is he's 6 foot already, right? So it's already tall for a running back. Big thing with him is his pad level. He runs high as heck. He's running, anyone who plays football, who's played football knows when you run high, especially for a running back, that's a cardinal rule not to do that. And he's already playing high. He's already a tall dude as it is. But again, we talk about a guy who hasn't been playing football long enough. That's something you learn really early on as he can run behind your pads. Doesn't really do that. Obviously, he came into football late. He uses his athletic ability. So that's one thing with him. Big thing, we talk about juice. Doesn't really have that second gear. 4.4, whatever, 40. Doesn't really have that second gear. He gets in the open field. While he is fast, he just doesn't have that like juice that we're talking about, the electricity that we want in our guys. And also has a kind of a negative, which a lot of experts are saying, his east-west movement. He tries to Le'Veon Bell it and doesn't really pick his hole and go to it. He kind of east-west it a little bit too much, and getting tackled for losses. Big thing for him was that as far as the running high, and then also that. And then big thing I'm talking about is pass protection. Really bad pass protection, one of the worst in the as far as of all the running backs we've talked about tonight, amongst the worst. But that again can contribute to going back to a guy who's only been playing football for 4 years. That's just like stuff that can be taught. He's got the size, 6 foot 200, 212 or whatever. So like he's got the size. So like coach needs to just fine tune it. He'll be all right. So that's not that big of a deal. And then as far as pass catching, inconsistent. There's not really a lot there as far as his pass catching in general. So there's a lot of inconsistencies there. Also, too, one thing about I'm gonna keep saying this about all the guys when it does pop up for me. Did a lot for the community. Like people there, Giddens, people love him in where he's from in Kansas. He's just done a lot for his community. You got to love a guy who's doing that, and that's also something that can carry over. A big team guy, a big do-it-all community kind of guy. That's the kind of guy you love for, to have in the NFL to be on our team. So that's something, I think everyone, when you see it, it needs to be mentioned. And DJ Giddens has done a lot for his community, and you gotta love that. But yeah, as far as his receiving ability, not a lot to love there. But given an NFL program, but 6 foot 212. Some things I'm seeing here as far as his player comp. I didn't see a lot of sexy player comps for him. And
I saw some decent ones.
I saw TJ Yeldon, and as soon as I saw TJ Yeldon, I stopped at that.
I saw Chuba Hubbard mixed with Connor. Tank Bigsby, Elijah Mitchell, TJ Yeldon, Ryan Matthews.
Solid.
Ryan Matthews is a good runner.
Some solid running backs.
Yeah. So 0-star recruit. He was blue shirted because of grades. Missed tackles per attempt, 88 percentile. Yards after contact, 76 percentile. Low fumbles. He doesn't fumble a lot. In-game athleticism score 95 percentile. So he's a good in-game runner. I read he was okay, pretty good at pass pro. I didn't realize he was terrible at it. Good vision in man and gap scheme concepts. He's patient. He knows how to get skinny. Something he can even learn to get. He can get better at with Kareem Hunt. Really good juke, really good head and shoulder fakes. Broke a lot of ankles in the open field. A lot of drops. 5 drops on 32 targets last year. So that's a lot. And what I heard them explain about it was his drops are really weird. He said if you go back and watch them, they're just open, just turn around, just in his hands, like Monstar took his hands away drops. So you think they're correctable. That shouldn't be a big deal. But yeah, I'm a Giddens fan. I think again I think that sweet spot for running back is 4 to 5. I think we get a starter at 4 to 5. Maybe not this year's starter. Maybe he works in, and after a while, it's like, okay, we need to get this guy more touches type starter. And then by the end of the year, maybe he's our guy. And yeah, I like Giddens. Yet another guy I like.
And going back to MJD's list, MJD has some number 5 running back overall, which is pretty high. Yeah. He says Giddens is a sleeper, at least according to where most draft analysts rank him, with insane suddenness. I've never seen a player make people miss the way Kansas State star does, moving out of the way of tacklers in the drop of a dime. He's a long strider, yet his start-stop quickness is second to none. If he improves in the game if he improves in the pass game as a receiver and a blocker, he has the potential to become a 3-down back at the next level, which is interesting because he has Harvey behind him, and he already calls Harvey a 3-down back, where he says he has the potential to become a 3-down back. So one's more polished than the other, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't mind if we got Giddens. This is also a guy, like, we're not taking him round 1 or 2. He's more of like a 3-4 kind of guy, which is fine because that means we're going to find other stuff elsewhere. So,
like if we trade that next year's Bears 4th to get back into like the early 5th or something, it's to get probably like a running back who's like slipping like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And again,
correct me if I'm wrong, we traded back in to get Hunt.
Did we? I don't remember. It's been a long time.
It has been a long time. I figured that'd be tattooed on your arm how we got Kareem Hunt.
I forget. Maybe we did. Yeah. Obviously, and scouts love taking Missouri and Kansas guys, so that also stands out again. Like, they love taking the local kids, so that could be something there, which would not be shocking at all. Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
Did
Chiefs trade their. I love when you click on it. Now you can't find it anymore. Chiefs traded their 3rd, 4th, and 7th round picks to Minnesota in order to acquire the Vikings' 3rd round pick, which was used to draft Kareem Hunt.
There you go. Good memory there. Good memory there, buddy.
We weren't kidding around, man. 3rd, 4th, and 7th to They must have
really liked him.
Yeah, that's a lot, no?
No, they must have really liked him. I mean, hence why we're like
3rd, 4th, and 7th? That's a man.
That's why 10 years.
You see things like that, and you're like, man, we need to trade down more in this draft to get some of these assets because, man.
It just tells you 10 years later, we're still big fans of them. So there you go.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.